Good afternoon. I'm spot on weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and we're going to take a look at the short range weather forecast. And we're going to kick it off starting tomorrow, Sunday, the 22nd of January. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at the satellite and the weather observations as of 12 noon Eastern Time today, the 21st of January. What we have going on is we have a lot of moisture starting to stream northeastward into our area. A lot of cloud cover in the area. In fact, we did have some reports of fog around Hampton Road cities this morning, with visibility reducing as low as 1 mile in some locations, primarily down to about 3 miles in the fog, as we have a very mild and moist air mass in place. So we have a lot of clouds streaming up from Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina into our area. Right now on radar, the heaviest rain is falling back over Georgia and South Carolina. We project that that's going to move northeast and will be into Southeast Virginia later this evening. Now, as far as the current surface observations go, we have light southerly winds generally around the area, temperature of 50 degrees at the Norfolk Airport. We have temperatures generally in the lower 50s over at Newport News, temperature of 50. We have lower 50s out of Wakefield. And so mild conditions again exist for today. Now looking at the forecast valid for tomorrow, Sunday, 22 January. What we have is, this is as of 7 a.m. Eastern Time, by the way. So we expect this area moisture to move through starting just after 7 p.m. this evening, lasting overnight, and then by early tomorrow morning we expect this wave of rain to move offshore. And then later in the day tomorrow we expect this wave of rain it's going to move in and fill everything back in with it's going to be pretty good soaking rain tomorrow. There's a 991 millibar low situated over northern Arkansas, and that will continue to drift northeast towards southeast Virginia over the coming days. So for tomorrow, what we're looking for is cloudy with rain likely. There will be a brief break in the morning time in between this wave of rain and then the oncoming wave of rain, which will be moving in. We expect rain. Scattered thunderstorms are also possible, and I'll talk about that in a minute in a little more detail. We do have strong southerly winds that are going to be out ahead of this area of low pressure, so that's going to be advecting or bringing in warmer and moist air. Now, some storms tomorrow, some scattered thunderstorms may be strong to even severe with heavy rain, gusty winds, and lightning. So just be on the alert for that. We are expecting mild temperatures tomorrow with a high all the way up to 64 degrees. Keep in mind, normal high for this time of year is 50, so that's well above the normal. Southeast winds will be blowing in off the water at 8 to 12 miles per hour. And we are expecting pretty good rain, moderate to occasionally heavy at times, 1 to 1.5 inches of rain between late tomorrow morning through Monday morning. So let's go to Monday. Actually, before we do that, I'll talk a little bit more about that thunderstorm threat as I just briefly mentioned. This is the Storm Prediction Center. This is their forecast, and there is an enhanced area of severe thunderstorms from northern Florida up through southeast Georgia, South Carolina into North Carolina. This is where the greatest threat exists for tomorrow for strong severe thunderstorms. Then you have a slight risk just south of the Virginia-North Carolina border, but coastal North Carolina is in that slight risk. And then southeast Virginia, as of right now, is in the marginal risk for strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. This is being issued by the Storm Prediction Center, which is an organization within NOAA. So I wanted to show you the map. And just realize that if we get a little bit stronger wind from the south, these thunderstorms and the risks of strong and severe thunderstorms will increase. So we'll just keep a close eye on that. All right, so now moving on to the forecast valid Monday, 23 January. We have the 986 millibar low is now situated to our west over southern West Virginia. We do have a lot of rain still in the area overall in southeast Virginia. We do expect a steadier rain to continue through early morning and then lighter rain after 10 a.m. local time. And again, there could be embedded thunderstorms within this rain that does fall on Monday morning. So just keep that in mind again. Very mild temperatures once again as well. They continue with highs into the lower 60s on Monday. We have south winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour as well, out ahead of this area of low pressure. Keep in mind that the winds around low pressure in the northern hemisphere generally blow counterclockwise. So we have southerly winds out ahead of this low. And then looking at Tuesday, the 24th of January, we do have the area of low pressure now that has moved off to the northeast, just to the southeast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And it starts to weaken as it moves northeast. We will start drying out on Tuesday. There may be some scattered showers early in the morning, but then we do expect a drying trend as Tuesday progresses, and drier winds from the northwest will blow into the area. All right, and with those winds shifting to the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour with occasional gusts of 20, we do expect that temperatures are going to cool. They'll drop about 10 degrees between Monday and Tuesday. High temperatures on Tuesday in the lower 50s. All right, and just a reminder, follow Spot On Weather for the latest forecasts. Follow me, Matthew P. Euler, in Facebook. Spot On Weather YouTube channel, you can subscribe to that. And then Spot On Weather on Twitter and Instagram. Feel free to send us your comments and feedback as well as any weather pictures you'd like to share. We look forward to hearing from you. And again, I greatly appreciate your subscription, you subscribing to the Spot On Weather YouTube channel to get the latest video updates, as well as all the requests that we've received in Facebook, where we post the latest forecasts. All right, so that wraps things up for today. The short-range weather forecast. Stay dry out there. Fairly dry right now. We have a break so far here on Saturday, the 21st of January. It's not raining right now. Temperatures are about 50 degrees. Light southerly winds. We expect rain to move in, though, this evening and lasting overnight tonight. Another break tomorrow morning, early, and then another wave of rain moves in by late morning and lasts through the afternoon, overnight, Sunday night into Monday. And then we do expect a general drying trend, especially Tuesday, as the low pressure system storm moves off to the northeast, winds shift to the northwest at 10 to 15, gust to 20 miles per hour. And then, again, I talked about the long range last night I put out. Just a reminder that we are in for a pattern change to colder conditions, and that is still on track to happen after 27 January. We got a stronger, colder Arctic air mass that's going to pour into Southeast Virginia. So we do expect temperatures to only be highs in the mid to upper 40s by Friday. And we do have signs with the jet stream. Now I want to show you this real quick before I close here. I'll show you what we're looking at here on the latest model data. All right, so this is Friday morning. We do have a strong piece of jet stream energy that's moving basically from west-southwest, east-northeast. We do have flow in from the north, from Canada, on the backside of this long wave trough. And then watch what time what happens. That's Friday morning, the 27th. And this is Saturday morning, the 28th. You see more of a ridging out in the west and troughing across the United States in general. Here's another shot of energy at 30,000 feet that's going to be moving down the backside of the long wave trough. But we are in much colder conditions at this time. Day 8, what are we looking at for day 8, which goes out to Sunday morning, the 29th, next weekend, 29 January. Now we got much stronger amplification of the jet. You got this nice ridging into western Canada, and then you have this long wave trough in much colder conditions, colder air. The wind vectors are pointing from Canada towards Southeast Virginia. So that's day 8, and in conjunction with that, I'll show you what the temperatures look like at 5,000 feet. Much colder temperatures, negative 12 to negative 18 degrees Celsius, starting to pour into Southeast Virginia at this time. And then you have this counterclockwise flow around this upper low. The coldest air remains just to the north of that. I mentioned it last night. Could it be possible that a polar vortex shifts down further south and really brings the main core of the coldest air down to the east coast? That's still very possible. Let's look at day 9. Again, much colder across the east, denoted by these purple colors. Maroon and magenta are even colder. But you do see the wind vectors. The wind arrows are pointing from northwest to southeast, straight from this cold air mass in Canada. And then let's look at the jet stream. The jet stream's looking, again, very amplified. ridging over the in western Canada and a deep trough, long wave trough in the eastern United States. Cold air will typically dump into the base of this long wave trough. And then finally, day 10, this goes out to 31 January. Again, look at the ridging over northwest. There is an upper level low beneath it, but you still have this ridging in the main jet axis, denoted by the yellow colors here. So you're still going to get northwesterly flow. The trough is still there. And the temperatures of 5,000 feet back that up with a much colder air mass there. Now, we may have a little bit of moderation around the 31st, late the 31st and the 1st, but we do expect that once again, the air mass is going to get cold again, looking like we're going to have below normal temperatures in the long range, again, after 27 January. We really don't see any major winter storms on the horizon. I just wanted to let everybody know that. Still no major winter storms on the horizon, but we have to keep an eye on the conditions because just a little bit of a storm. The European model earlier this morning was showing a little bit of a wave of low pressure trying to develop around the 31st of January, around this time frame, develop over the Gulf of Mexico and move up the East Coast. But we'll just have to keep watching the trends in the model data to see if others jump on board that trend. But we will keep an eye on things, enjoy the mild conditions, try to stay dry out there like I mentioned, and I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And thanks again for your viewership. We greatly appreciate it. Take care. Now remember, we're spot on weather. If we're not spot on, we're not doing it right. Have a great Saturday, everyone.